in one bag now, but we'll mix probably 2 quarts of water to a bag. Now, see, I'm giving all my secrets away now. But, and you know, it breaks down to where it's, you know, there's still some of the pellet left, and then you get a lot, which is basically sawdust. And once it's in the stall, I mean, it would break down if you left it as a pellet. It's just, it takes a lot longer, and this just works a lot better. Our mare here, when she's outside, all her manure is as far away from the stall as she can possibly get it. And when she's in the stall, it will be in an area about that big. And she keeps it very compact and together. The way it's designed is, we put a little bit of stone, crushed stone down for a base. And then the mats they look like air mattresses, but they're filled with ground tile. It's a company out of Canada. Right now we have 6 horses, and this is the active bay, the material that's coming in right now.
And no water is added to this?
Occasionally, if it's really dry, I might take the hose and just put a little bit. But for the most part, we put it in as is.
Okay.
And it maintains, you know, it's not dripping wet, and it's not dry where it's going to blow away in the wind. The moisture content seems to be just about right the way it comes out of the stall.
Perfect. So you've got the blower system up in the back with the pipes going back.
Runs across the back. You can see the 2 floor plenums.
And any problem with the floor getting clogged with material? No,
typically what we do is when we empty out the bin, we'll go through, we'll pop out the boards. They're just 2x6s that are sitting in there with a spacer in between each one. So we'll pop them out, we'll clean them out. It takes probably maybe 20 minutes to clean them, put them back in, and they're good for the next use.
Any problem with the water getting in the troughs?
No, we don't have that. There's nowhere near that much liquid in there. A lot of that is due to the fact we're not using a lot of material, so it dries it out, but we have the balance is there, so it's wet enough where if you squeeze it, it sticks together, but it's not to the point where you've got water running out of it, so we don't have an excess water problem. What we'll do is when this bay is, well, before it's actually full, we'll close the doors, and then we'll dump in the rest, and then we'll bring the height to just about the height of the concrete walls. I'll put between 6 and 8 inches of finished material on top. That'll give me an insulation blanket to keep the heat in the pile. We have the blowers on a timer, and we'll maintain about 160 degrees for 2 weeks. And that'll kill all the weed seeds, all the bacteria, everything that's in there. And then the blower will run for another 2 weeks, and the temperature will slowly drop. It usually gets down to about 120 degrees. At that point, we'll shut off the blower, which is where this one's at now. And it's basically, it'll be ready to be used by the time we get to it. 60 days is pretty much the time frame you have for usable compost, as opposed to 6 months to a year if you're just putting it in a static pile outside.
Okay.
Just learning that not to put a lot of hay into it. The raw hay does not break down anywhere near as fast as this material does. So if somebody dumped a whole bale if we had some moldy hay, if they threw it in there, that tends to just stay in there. It doesn't break down as quickly. It doesn't affect anything other than the fact your finished product is going to have some decomposed hay that's going to be in there. And the other thing was the right ratio of how much bedding material we're using. If you're using too much bedding material, then when you put it in here, it does absorb the excess moisture, and then it does dry the pile out. Gotcha. So just playing around with how much bedding material you put into the stalls. You just need enough just to absorb the urine. You don't need 6 inches. It's just wasted material, and it comes in here, and it will throw off your carbon nitrogen ratios too, because you're going to have a lot more of the wood chip in there. Other than that, just figuring out how long to run the blower to get the temperature we need and maintain the temperature, not to cool a pile too quickly. And that's it. We've pretty much got that down now, where we know we set the timers. They run for about 4 weeks of introducing air to keep the process going. And then once we get past that 30 days, we shut off the blower, and then it just slowly cools down from there.
Very neat.